Tune out the world with White Noise Wednesdays. Listen to relaxing background noise recordings and clear your mind of anxiety and negative energy. New episode every Wednesday and available wherever you listen to podcasts. Listen to White Noise Wednesdays today.
Hey everyone, I thought I would do another episode, sort of a follow-up on my last one on high-intensity weight training, but touching upon that, this is kind of what I consider, and from my experience and what I've researched and what I've done in the past, restorative but also functional exercise. So this will apply to people that are not only dealing with, chronic complex health issues, especially ones such as like chronic fatigue syndrome, but fibromyalgia, that may have some kind of exercise intolerance, but also those that are, average people. You could apply this to athletics and stuff like that. But it's really kind of a simple in my mind. There's only a handful of things you really need to do, and in my opinion, there is other stuff I think you can maybe include as well. One thing I think is really important is restorative yoga. This is, I believe it's called yin yoga, if I recall. This is very good to do. It's usually relaxing. It's not really too intensive. It's usually on the floor. It's good for about anyone can do it, or with some accommodation. And you can easily look up YouTube videos and how-to videos online and just follow along. Another one I think is important is kind of just walking, even if it's just 20 or 30 minutes at a time, or very little at a time, and work yourself up. I think about anyone can do this. Obviously if you're bedbound or something like that, you kind of need to work your way up. I don't think, a common thing that people use is, and I don't think it's a good option, is graded exercise therapy. I've kind of looked into it some, and it's a little similar to my approach on this, but I'm not a big fan of it because I don't really agree with it. I don't think it's a good idea technically. But yeah, walking, it doesn't need to be, you don't have to be at a fast pace. It can be for a few minutes at a time. It can be, more the better. Typically if you want to work yourself way up to like 10,000 steps or so, but you can do 3,000, 5,000 or something like that. Another one is high intensity weight training. I think any kind of weight training would be ideal. You do have to kind of work yourself up to high intensity, doing it to about your max, about around 80% of your max, and doing about 5 or 10 reps and kind of getting a handle on that. You could start out, like slow, and you could do like some body weight and hand weights and stuff like that. I think there is some, you can look up some good stuff. I know Drew Bay has sort of a body weight program that you can start with. This is a bit intense, so I think later on in stages, when you're able to tolerate more exercise and stuff like that, it's better. But I do think, weight training has a lot more benefits, I think, than just doing plain cardio. It increases your metabolic rate. It protects from injury. It has I think a ton more benefits, I think, than cardio or just doing cardiovascular workouts and stuff like that. Not necessarily exercise. I think it is more of like a mental exercise, I guess, of sorts, but meditation, just kind of learning different meditation styles and trying out. There's guided ones, but you can simply just listen to isochronic tones or binaural beats, and just focus on your breathing and just let your mind kind of wander, and just try and focus on your breathing. It doesn't really need to be overly complex. You can find all kinds of different things, different methods and stuff like that to kind of use. You can look up how to do it. There's a ton of different meditation. You can do it sitting, you can do it laying down. It's really, I just kind of approach it in a simplistic kind of way. Another thing is doing Tai Chi. Again, this doesn't have to be something you do for a long time. I do maybe 5 or 10 minutes at most, and there's even seated Tai Chi, and I would do kind of beginners. I believe she's put out quite a bit, and she doesn't do it anymore, but there's like Tai Chi 5 minutes a day, which I think is pretty good. And I think that really helps kind of move kind of energy and stuff throughout your body, even if you don't believe in the traditional Chinese method, traditional Chinese medicine and methods and stuff like that. I think it does help improve upon that. And in a similar manner, Qigong, especially if you look up medical Qigong and kind of the movements, this is more to get more energy in your body. And again, this only has to be like at small little increments, like 5 or 10 minutes a day. You can also build upon this, and you can build upon this over time. And you don't have to do all these in a day. You can do one of them. You can do a few of them. The weight training, you only really have to do, I think, maybe once or twice a week at most. I don't really think you have to be in the gym every day or something like that. I think I really think intensity is what really builds muscle. It's more beneficial, it's more effective and efficient manner of weight training. If you look at how it used to be done before kind of the 60s and 70s, and this method has actually been around for quite a long time. There's a lot you can research and stuff. Arthur Jones and Drew Bay and Mike and Ray Menser, and there have been some others. I'm trying to think. There are some other people that you can look up. Doug McGuff, he's put out Body by Science and the Body by Science, the sequel, and stuff like that. And you could also include maybe some light hobbies, like dancing or some other kind of martial arts as you build upon this. Just so you're kind of active and stuff like this. But I think if you want more, if you're trying to come from a healing perspective, I think even to some degree athletics, I do think there is some cardio benefit to doing some sprints or sprinting, but you don't have to do a ton of them cardiovascular wise. I really think going on a bit of a tangent, but if you really want to condition yourself to a sport, it's actually practicing and training in that sport. So for MMA or martial arts, for example, sparring or doing doing forms or free or shadow boxing, shadow fighting, stuff like that. But anyways, I hope this helps people. I hope this helps, especially if you're kind of recovering from chronic illness. This is what I do personally for exercise. I really don't think you have to do a ton of it. I think you can build upon it, and you can, this can really help heal and restore your body. I know that it's a bit counterintuitive, especially if you have exercise intolerance or something with low energy, but even a little bit can really help move along your health, and it can improve your health, I think. So yeah,